Here, Ekurhuleni's new mayor, Xoli has vowed to serve residents and bring stability to the metro. The ANC councillor replaces African Independent Congress's Sivuyile Ngotwana, who was ousted in a motion of no confidence last month. The municipality has been battling political uncertainty and service delivery that has been poor over the last couple of weeks. Xoli nominated unopposed during an extraordinary sitting of the council sitting today.
I wish to express my sincere gratitude to the council for the privilege responsibility bestowed upon me. I pledge my commitment to serve this council with honor and integrity, and most importantly, to serve the people of Ekurhuleni with my utmost best. I want to single out the understanding of the multi-party in ensuring that we restore the stability of the city. Chief Whip and all the multi-party leaders, you are recognized for this particular effort of ensuring that we build a stable city, that the interest of our communities become at the center of our work, and that we are non-partisan, in particular as demonstrated by the work of Council today and the decision of Council to give me this responsibility unopposed.
All right, let's get the conversation going around this particular development. Action SA Ekurhuleni caucus leader Siyanda Makhubo joins us now for more reaction. Mr. Makhubo, good evening to you and thank you very much for your time. After a period of uncertainty, Xoli has emerged as the mayor of Ekurhuleni. Are you confident of his leadership capabilities in order to steer the city in the right direction?
Well, thank you for having us, Xoli, this evening. Action SA is an effective opposition in council, and the events of today finally give us an executive mayor, and that executive mayor emanates from the ANC, the very same ANC that Action SA has always been committed to remove from power, but the events of today gave us an ANC mayor. We will be continuing being an effective opposition in council. There's a number of things that Councillor Xoli has brought forward, and that is broad consultation with regards to all parties represented in council, and Action SA welcomes that and is very happy about that. It is also about broad plans. I mean, the city is currently in a financial mismanagement situation right now. I mean, we've experienced for the first time in the history of the city of Ekurhuleni the AG report not coming forth to council as a result of political squabbles between the ANC and the EFF. We've also experienced a city that's currently not being unable to pay for service providers, which has a direct consequence on the city being unable to deliver services. So we will test what Councillor Xoli will bring to the table as the executive mayor, including his mayoral committee that he will appoint very soon, and we will continue holding that executive to account.
You speak about a mayoral executive. Before we get there, the intro is very clear. Mr. Xoli emerged unopposed. The chance was given by the speaker as we all listened, and no one picked up their hand, including Action SA, and you are very clear in your stance that the ANC has got to be taken out of power. Why did you not pick up your hand and raise an objection?
So even before we tabled this vote of no confidence as Action SA, there would have been broad consultations with political parties. Very important, there would have been an assessment of where the city's direction is going towards to. And we, based on our analysis, the city was not going towards the right direction. Before we submitted the vote of no confidence in January this year, there would have been broad consultations with all political parties. So there was a plan. We were not irrational. We consulted with parties. Number one, Action SA wants to table a vote of no confidence against the mayor, and these were the reasons. Parties agreed, and we got enough support. Then we submitted a vote of no confidence, with the confidence that it will pass. Indeed, the vote passed, it was successful, and the mayor was removed. Following that, there would have been other consultations with political parties. What do we do now? We have removed an executive mayor. It was very clear that the ANC was going to field a candidate. They're entitled to do that. Action SA then made it very clear that we have appetite to field an executive mayor. We are competent. We want to take the city forward. We have a manifesto. We want to bring change to the residents of Ekurhuleni. So we then decided to field a candidate. Once again, it's a numbers game, and the numbers in Ekurhuleni are very, very tight. Consulted with other political parties, including the DA, the FF+, ACDP, and IFP, and others. And from our analysis and from our consultations with all the political parties, the DA came out and they said they would not be supporting an Action SA candidate. And when we do our analysis, it was very clear that an Action SA candidate would not win the vote today, and that is why Action SA did not put forward a candidate. It's a numbers game, Xoli, and purely because of that, we were unable to field a candidate.
Let's talk about that mayoral composition. The mayor is going to apply his mind and come up with an executive team. If Action SA is approached for a position of MMC, is that something that you would accept?
Well, Action SA is on record to say that they, under no circumstances, will we ever work with the ANC. We are of the view that the ANC is part of the problems that are facing South Africans, specifically the residents of Ekurhuleni. That is why in 2021, the residents of Ekurhuleni rejected the ANC, removed them from the results they would have received in 2016, dropping them further down, and those are results that we got. So you can't work with a problem to fix South Africa or to fix Ekurhuleni. Yes. So Action SA is on record. This is a party line. This is party policy that Action SA will not work with the ANC. If we are afforded or offered MMC positions, Action SA will not take those positions.
The finance MMC portfolio, that is critical, evidenced by your latest motion of no confidence against the recent mayor. You were very clear that that position was in wrong hands, occupied by an EFF councillor. Who would be ideal for this position in the current situation?
What we're currently facing right now in Ekurhuleni, and we must commend all political parties, is that there's broad consultation. We know that the ANC, through their leadership, has reached out to all political parties for a meeting for tomorrow morning to provide to us who they think should be in the executive. And that model is very important because then parties have an opportunity to interrogate the candidates that will be occupying MMC positions. This is where parties will be able to say, well, Party X is bringing this candidate. Who is this candidate? Does the candidate have the right skills, competencies, experience, and leadership ability to move the city forward? Previously, we saw the EFF occupying critical positions. A disaster. It was very chaotic, specifically on finance, specifically on water and energy, and this is why we are in Ekurhuleni.
Well, the EFF has made its expectations very clear, and that is that they are not going to accept anything less than 5 MMC positions. If they do go back to the finance portfolio, what happens next? Because you are clear that they have been disastrous in that position. And the reason we focus so much attention on the finance portfolio is also evidenced in part by what you said earlier about the AG report that was withheld. And by the way, would you expect for that report to finally be tabled so that it is discussed within the council?
The report was finally tabled,
yeah.
and it showed bad results from the city. A clean audit, but with very, very bad findings from the AG, specifically on supply chain and contractual regulations which were not followed by the Department of Finance.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate thing about the coalitions currently facing right now. Specifically, the EFF is using what we call horse trading. We know that the ANC is in a tight corner. Johannesburg comes into the picture. eThekwini comes into the picture. Gqeberha comes into the picture. And the EFF is using those positions as a horse trading dynamic for the ANC. But what we are saying is that all parties must be allowed an opportunity to have broad consultation. But what we're seeing is that the EFF is specifically interested in a specific portfolio. Interesting enough, recently, their president, Julius Malema, revealed that he's just interested in having the Ministry of Finance. In Ekurhuleni, coincidentally, they want the position of finance. So something is happening. There's a relationship between the EFF having appetite for the treasury of municipalities and now recently for the treasury of our country. And we're calling that out. I mean, in the next few weeks, Action SA will be revealing shocking revelations from the city of Ekurhuleni, where contractual irregularities, specifically from the Department of Finance, where the EFF was involved directly. And we're very concerned about that.
What will you do then if the EFF does go back to that portfolio in Ekurhuleni?
We are calling the ANC out. The ANC is in a very tight corner, but we're calling the ANC out. They don't need to be in a coalition with the EFF, specifically in Ekurhuleni. The numbers are stacked against that arrangement, because the majority of council, the EFF only occupies 31 seats in council, and we have made it very clear to the ANC. The problem we have identified, all of us as parties in council, is the EFF. They only occupy 31 seats, and the strategy must be to isolate the problem. And the problem is the EFF. So we can all move together as parties with the same vision and with the same desire to fix Ekurhuleni.
Tanya Campbell was ousted. It was in October of 2022. March 2024. Suvile Ngotwana was shown the door. Do you foresee stability in that council this time around?
There will definitely be stability as long as all parties in council are in unison in isolating the problem, which is the EFF. And we have identified this. They are also utilizing their speaker. The speaker belongs to the EFF. When the EFF loses a debate in council, the speaker collapses council. When the EFF is about to lose an item on the agenda, the speaker is used to collapse council. So we've identified the common problem, and that is the EFF. What we want is stability, and we have assured the ANC, as long as they deliver services to the residents of the city of Ekurhuleni, as long as they do well with the finances of the city, and make sure that we get back our clean audits without findings, make sure that staff morale is boosted, make sure that things such as insourcing of security guards and cleaners is placed on the table, making sure that we implement the institutional review is top priority, then we will make sure that stability is ensured. Ours is to be an effective opposition, and we are proud of that position in council. We remain a 6% party in council with only 15 seats, and there's only so much we can do, and that is to hold the executive to account. If this executive and this executive mayor do all of that, then Action SA will be in a position to make sure that government is stable and that we finish this term with the very same executive.
Final question to you. All things considered, service delivery is what residents expect of that council. Where would you place that at the moment, service delivery to residents?
Well, service delivery has totally collapsed in the city of Ekurhuleni, and that's because the city is unable to pay service providers who are meant to assist the city in delivering services. And we have made it a point that beyond the political theatre, because let's be honest, you can have 10 executive mayors in the whole of 2024, but if your officials who are employed by the city are doing what they're meant to do, the city, the machinery continues to run on its own. But the theatre of council now has the potential, and as we've seen over the past few months, it did overflow to the arena where officials were starting to be confused over the direction of the city. They didn't know where to take political instruction from. They didn't know what the vision of the city was. Once we get the theatre of council correct and the politics of council correct, then we'll start seeing officials knowing exactly what to do and getting the city back on track. Ours is to make sure that we rescue the current situation of service delivery and get Ekurhuleni back to work.
Siyanda Makhubo, let me thank you very much for your time. He is the caucus leader in Ekurhuleni, belonging to the benches of Action SA.